So the greatest news is energy never dies. Never, ever, ever dies. So power retrieval is about reclaiming the energy that we have given away.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Holiness Connection. Today, I'm so happy to welcome Mary Almendarez, and she is a true luminary in the realm of healing intuition, motivation, and power retrieval guidance. Her captivating journey is a testament to her unwavering commitment to raising the vibrations of others and helping them unlock their inherent potential. And I'm so looking forward to talking about so many different topics around self-love and power retrieval. And there's just so much we can cover here today. So welcome, Mary.
Thank you so much for having me, Sonja. I'm excited to be here today and be a part of your podcast, and hopefully we can help one person at a time through your podcast. So good for you for doing this.
Thank you.
Helping others.
Thank you. Okay, so let's start. I kind of think all of these probably interconnect, so we'll see how they interweave. But I thought I'd start with self-love. I feel like that's something that, we talk about so much, and in practice, it seems to be very difficult for people. And I'll include myself. I think I'm pretty far along in that journey now, but it was much more of a difficult journey than I thought it would be. So how can people, you say it as opening your heart and being in self-love. Mm-hmm. I'd just be curious to hear some of your thoughts on it.
So for me, self-love, I never felt self-love. Ever since through childhood, I never felt love. I was raised Catholic, and I was actually scared of God because, you're going to go to purgatory, you're going to go to hell, and you're going to, you should feel guilty and shame. And there was no sense of love. And I remember being a young girl just crying in the church going, I just want to feel love. Mind you, I was one of 10. So there was not enough love to go around. And as I grew up, let me just give you a little bit of background so you can see why self-love is so important for me and why people are going to understand, through my circumstances, why they need to bring more self-love into their awareness. So I went to an all-girl Catholic school, and I ended up getting pregnant my junior year. So here was this guilt and this shame from being putting those beliefs into me as growing up Catholic. I was scared to tell my parents. I was just devastated. And so I started in this pattern of taking care of other people. So I ended up marrying a man that was 15 years older than me. So I gave my power away to him, never knew about love, not a clue. And then my daughter, when she was 24 years old, she says, Mom, you got to read this book on the angels. So I picked up this book and started reading, and there was a connection there. And I realized I didn't know what love was. I think a lot of people don't know what love is. And I was full of fear and anxiety. And I learned, oh my gosh, I don't need to live like this. This is crazy. So for me, self-love was really hard because it starts when you're a child. It starts when you are told no, or you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough. All those things are programmed with us as a young child as we grow up. And now we just bring layers and layers and layers of that. So the key to start bringing love to you is to get to know your little Sonja, to get to know your little Mary, because that little girl or little boy is dying to be hugged and cradled and say, yes, you are loved. We are loved. You are loved. So the best way to start bringing love into your great exercise to start bringing love into you is to start waking up and saying, I love myself. I forgive myself, because a lot of times we have all this guilt and forgiveness that we need to work out to start really loving ourselves and start taking those little things that you're really awesome at. Oh my God, I was so good. I love how I do that. I love myself. And then what I love to do is to teach people is to turn your phone on for every hour, a little timer, every hour on the hour. Start at 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock. You can do this at work and just stop and just go, I am filling up I am filling up with love, overflowing, flowing through me daily. Simple little things. You can even call in your guides and your angels. Guides, angels, thank you for filling me up with love, because it has to start with you. And whatever's going on the outside of your world is a direct reflection of what's vibrating within your heart. So where is love in us? It's your heart. What does that look like? It's green. So start wearing, look at, you're wearing green today.
Yeah.
And the green color with golden sparkles. See, you and I are matched. They told me to wear green, gold today.
Yeah, I actually had an intuition to wear green.
So me too, gold. And I was like, the golden sparkles in green. And then you could just, what I teach people as well is you walk through your heart space and you go into and you bathe in pink, fill up with this energy. Everybody talks about the chakras, the chakras, the chakras. Guess what? The chakras truly are our spiritual energy batteries, and those need to be overflowing. Start eating green apples. Wear green. Go outside, put your feet on the floor, and ask for that love to fill you up. What I love to say is, universe, I allow love to find me, fill me, and flow through me daily. That's a beautiful affirmation to say every day. Just to get that sparkle started inside your heart. So that was a long way to talk about.
No, and I wanted to just pull out a few pieces of that I find so important. One being to make it a practice, like you said, with your phone. I think it's easy to think, oh, we'll do it, especially if we have a particular time of insight, we are feeling it a bit more. But it really does have to be a practice, partly because we have the negativity bias in our brain. And so we just whoosh right past the positive, and then more tend to have the tendency, so it needs, it helps to counteract a little, but also just because then it becomes a practice. So I think that was really important. And then what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, just that like when you're describing it too, it's so important to have that deeper, like really feel it. And I think that's why it's important, like it's not exactly a visualization, but it's that sensory experience of it that you're describing, to try to feel into it. Like, I think, if we keep it too much in the head, that's where sometimes people feel like, maybe they're doing an affirmation, or they're trying to do, they think they're doing the self-love, but they're not really feeling it. So getting that real heart involvement, like you're describing, I think is so important.
Yes, you definitely have to feel it, because it is a feeling. Love's a feeling. It's not a thought. And we say, I love you so much, but really? Really? Do you really love that person? Do you really just throw that word out? Because it's really a feeling.
Yeah. Yes.
And that feeling is when you feel love, oh my God, it's like the craziest thing you've ever experienced when you actually feel love. And that took me years. And sometimes I'd go backwards too. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to go down that ego mind. And then you forget, because when you're out of love, what happens? We're in the past, we're in the present,
right.
We're not in past or the future, and you're not in the present moment. So self-love is really important.
Yeah, that present moment orientation is so important to it too. And then what I think that's so important too, like that could be an interesting practice too, to actually feel it when we say something like, I love you. And this brings me to, I guess, more generally, how the self-love can then ripple out, as is your term for it, into compassion and others. And I'm just curious, like, how you see that happening, maybe some experiences you've had with that.
Sure. So for self-love, this is what I love to do. So let's say you walk into, so I teach people how to walk through a purple door. Why a purple door? A purple color is the color of transformation and forgiveness, right? So we want to be cleared of any fear, anything that we're carrying around. Where is that on the body? It's the crown chakra. So you're activating the crown chakra to clear that mind. And when you walk through the purple door, so you're basically opening your heart, walking through the door, and you're walking into a green meadow. There we go. We're in the heart space now. And remind me what your question was, because I just got off.
Yeah, no, that's okay. You can continue in this vein if you want. It sounds really good to hear about that so specific and again so sensory and so detailed, I think is so helpful, like to all of us. But it was just around how the self-love then ripples out into
Okay,
compassion for others. Yeah.
perfect. Okay, so you want to be standing, thank you. You want to be standing in this heart space. And you know what? If you can't imagine the color, it doesn't matter. It's the intention. And that is very important for people to know that your intention is going to make the action happen, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what, the intention and then the action. So, what I like to do is I like to stand in my little space and I have little Mary come and I imagine that love for me is like a droplet of water. This is cool if you want to manifest things too.
Mm-hmm.
Droplet of water. What happens when a drop of water comes into a lake or a little puddle of water? It ripples out. So,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want that droplet of water to be? Love, self love, because that more self love you give to yourself, it's rippling out, and then it's going to come back tenfold. So you can use that to manifest. You can use that to. It's just a beautiful way to picture that little drop rippling out and expanding it out, and it must come back, right?
Yeah.
We need to be very aware of what we bring in. So it's just a great exercise. Everything that I teach is all visual because what
Mm-hmm.
it's doing, it's activating your third eye, it's activating your heart. You can start seeing yourself expand because we want to be in expansion, not contraction.
Mm-hmm.
And most of us are walking around in contraction.
Yeah. Yes. And that's very related to some of the stuff that I want to talk to you about later too with connection. Because I think the heart expansion and openness, is what, and the not bracing is like very important to me. But sometimes that can get confused with, and we'll cover this later, but can get confused with not having energetic boundaries or that kind of thing. Just to continue on this vein, just a little more first before we get there. Uh, how do you like the phrase choosing love? Like, of course, doing these practices and having the self love, and then maybe even visualizing how it goes out is part of it. Are there other ways that you would describe choosing love? Let's say when you're just out and about in the world.
Yeah, I walk around and I absolutely say what you just said. I choose love
Mm,
over and over again. I choose love. And when your vibration is starting to get funky and you're starting to go
mm,
down, go stand on your feet for a little bit and you say I release, because we're picking up things everywhere. I release any anxiety, any fear down to you, Mother Earth, right?
mhm,
I'm releasing
mhm.
it down to you and you change. I choose love. You know what else I say? I'm a peaceful one. I'm a peaceful one. And you keep repeating that and breathing, and it'll take you back to the present. It's all about being in the present moment right here where you and I are. My everything is about talking to you right now. I'm not anywhere else.
Mm,
And that's where we need to be. So
yeah.
I choose love is a very strong affirmation to say, to stay in that present point in time right here, right now.
Yeah. And I think that's important too, that we can support ourselves in doing that with something like you said, like a physical practice. So
Hmm.
pulling ourselves into the moment could
Hmm.
be feeling the
Hmm.
feet on the ground, even to the point of taking off your shoes, maybe. Um,
100%.
yeah.
This
Any other
love,
tricks for how to do that? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, love is like, it is so amazing when you actually get a little trigger of love, what real love is like from the angels or from like, it is the most magical thing I've ever experienced ever. And I think I've experienced that maybe twice. Like
Mm,
like love, like God love.
mm-hmm,
But what I have noticed for myself, I have to look in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and you'll probably start crying.
mm,
I love myself. Wow, that's hard to say sometimes because we're always looking at the negative of ourselves. So we need to start looking in the mirror. I love myself. I love my body, right? I love my mind. I love myself for this beautiful food I just made. Those simple things are self love. It's bringing your power back to your heart
yeah.
and you'll feel it. You'll
Yeah.
feel it.
Yes. Yes. Well, let's pull in the power piece a little bit here already then. Um, so you mentioned bringing power into the heart. I'm curious, just to talk more in general though about power retrieval. First, maybe just like about what that is, just the whole
Mhm.
understanding of it, and then into some of the techniques as well.
Sure. So the way power retrieval came to me is like I said in the beginning, I was giving my power and my energy to everybody else because I didn't know about self-love, self-care, self-nurturing, none of that. I did give it, and most people are walking around right now, women and men, and you're just giving. You're giving to your partner, you're giving to your husband, wife, whatever, your children, your coworkers. What's happening, Sonja? You're leaking your energy. It's gone, man. And then what happens? The stress. You can't sleep, anxiety, you overeat or you don't eat. Then the diseases come in. It's all because we're leaking our energy. And that is how power retrieval was came to me and developed. So we leak our energy, and we leak our energy when we're in the past, when we're thinking in the past. Ooh, that's a major, major. And that's when the feminine energy is really being leaked. It's
Mm.
when we're leaking, when we're going in the past, because those are emotions. So I feel so guilty. Why did I do that? Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Another leaker is when we go into the future. And that is the old male. I like to call it the old male. The future expectations. Oh my God, that's not going to work out. I'm not going to have enough money. This person is going to fire, whatever. I'm going to get fired. I'm never going to have that house. All of that. That's all in the future. So the greatest news is energy never dies. Never, ever, ever dies. So power retrieval is about reclaiming the energy that we have given away, reclaiming the will that we didn't want to do. Somebody took our willpower away from us, maybe because we were innocent or we just gave up when we didn't care. That's a major, major energy leaker.
Mhm.
So I teach people how to go back, look at those situations where you gave your energy away, when you gave your willpower away. I did it all the time. And your sexual energy, having sex with somebody, that's a huge thing. So I teach people how to reclaim it, bring it back, become full again, get that soul power back again, fill up all of this energy that belongs to us. So that's basically how power retrieval works.
Okay, yeah, and it sounds like there's probably a lot of different techniques and
There's
a
so
whole
many.
methodology and process to that. I want to circle back to when you were talking about, because I'm imagining people might have a question here about, about the giving, right? Because of course we are interacting with people and whatever, and I mean, I have a sense of what this is, that it can flow out, without leaking your energy. But I'd be curious to hear, yeah, how do you see that, like our positive interactions and how we flow with people in a way where it doesn't give away energy?
Right. So you want to be at your highest vibration, right? So you want to be protected. You want to be protected in your white bubble, and you want to protect this bubble. So how do you protect this bubble? So if when you get up in the morning or before you go to bed, you want to protect your energy. So the first thing you do is you go, I release any anxiety, fear that I am carrying. I release it down to you, Mother Earth, and you just let it go down. Let's go back for a second. To not walk around with fear and anxiety, you need to be grounded. Period. Have to be grounded. So everybody, when they start their spiritual journey or whatever, they're always like, oh, my third eye, I want to be connected. No, 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 because you're going to bring in things that are not good for you whatsoever. So you want to be connected. How do we get connected? You do it. I release any fear, anxiety, emotions that are not mine. I release it down to you, Mother Earth. And then you sense and feel the energy coming up through your feet, or you just plug yourself in the dirt. Just imagine dirt just all the way up to your like thighs. So you're grounded. Now, what's that color? It's ruby red. So our mothers are supposed to take care of us and nurture us. Most of us didn't have it. I didn't. So when we are nurtured by a feminine energy, you feel safe and secure. So you want to be safe and secure with this ruby red energy. Now, how do we do that? Great ways to do this. You get little Mary, little Sonja. She shows up with a golden chalice with ruby red strawberry milk, whatever you want, ruby red color in there, and drink it. Drink that ruby red, because what is it doing? It's going down and it's filling that root chakra. So that root chakra is the most important chakra to feel safe and secure. Then, see, like I'm going off. I can't even remember what your original.
No, this is great. I think this is great to hear about how this works. Yeah.
So you want to have that completely grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Now you want to imagine, sense or feel, like I told you, imagination doesn't work. The whole grounding thing will work just saying, Mom, ground me, expand me with this ruby red. Let me drink some beautiful strawberry milk or ruby red energy. So this energy, what we're bringing into our body, that's going to expand you already. You're going to be grounded. Then you want to bring in the white light. So this is about 2 feet above your head. You bring this white energy down through you all the way, and you just imagine any dark, dense energy that's with you is clearing as you go. Now you're in this awesome white bubble, right? So now we got to check it. We got to make sure there's no holes. So what you do is you go back and you imagine like a bull with horns coming, and it's running at you. Did it poke through? Uh-oh, I'm leaking some energy here. White. And then you do it with a bunch of arrows. Boom. Any arrows came in? Yep. Okay, I'm going to make this thicker, wider, thicker. This truly works. Your life will change if you do this. Now, we want to do this. Psychic attacks. What is that? Anybody who talks good, bad, whatever about you. Remember, I told you, energy goes. You need to protect yourself. So I imagine vibration coming at you. Is the vibration coming at you? Nope. Okay, I'm clean. Great. Now we call on Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael steps forward. You go, Michael, take your sword, take your blue sword, bring it out and put it straight down your spine. And then this blue energy surrounds the white bubble. I know it sounds like a lot because I'm explaining it, but you could do it very quickly in the morning just to get this energy field around you. And then you just say, any entities, psychic attacks, probe, anything that's less than love, get swiftly bounced off me, return to the central sun into love. Done. You are protected. And this will last. If you're having a really heavy day, just keep going there. Michael, put that sword back down my neck. If you forget to do this, there is the bone right by your neck, that bone that connects the spine to the head that pops out. That's your Christ chakra. Christ chakra. I can't think of the word. Christ chakra. So what's that mean? It means that's where we get attacked by energies. That's where our soul comes in. Our soul goes out. That's where the energies go in and out. What you do is you dab a little bit of cologne or perfume. Like right now, I have it on the back of my neck. You see all the ancient ones, the ancient masters, they always have a scarf or a turtleneck. There's a reason why they do that. They're protecting themselves from any negative energy coming into them. So there's a lot of great ways to protect your energy, and they work.
Wow, that was so much to share with us. I really appreciate that. And I wanted to point out, particularly with the ones that are, you're talking about something very physical just now, but when you're talking more about the visualizations and the rituals, I just want to highlight again the importance of that, because I think sometimes, of course, intention is super important too, but I think sometimes people don't understand that that's like, we need ways of processing, right? We need ways of processing, feeling it deeply, all of that. And so I guess just highlighting that, I think sometimes ritual has come to be that it's not actually meaningful, right? Or something like that. We have those kinds of associations. But I think that, even just with modern psychology and our understanding of the subconscious and how we feel into states and all of it really fits in with that. We need practices like that. We need to be able to do that.
You do. You really do. And I'm telling you, it makes you feel great. If you just practice that, and do it, your life will be better around your coworkers, everywhere. Wherever you go, in the grocery store, everywhere you go, you are running into each other's. We're 9 feet, right?
Hmm.
This ball around us is like 9 feet around us. So you're bumping into people all the time. You're picking up their energy,
Hmm.
good or bad. You're picking up their energy. I just shared with Sonja earlier that my husband just had a heart attack. He had a stroke, and I've been in the hospital. And I haven't been keeping my field strong because I've been going through so much emotional trauma and numbness and all of that. And I came home and my whole entire neck, I couldn't move it, and I knew I got attacked because I am a big bright light, and darkness likes to go to light, right? So I transmute a lot of things. So I have to be very careful going to these places. Bars and hospitals are the number one because there's grief, depression. It is gnarly, just crazy. And I go inside my husband's room, which is completely surrounded by angels, crystals, you name it is in that room. I step out and I just get attacked. So it's really important to keep our energy field clean, and it will help you not get diseases. It'll help you to stay clean and focused.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear then your thoughts, or how could you describe the distinction between, you know, keeping our energy fields clear and the way this kind of interaction can happen, and keeping open, non-braced, open to the underlying oneness, just the sort of like reality with the capital R fact of our interconnection.
Yeah,
Not closing down our heart and our
yeah,
selves in that way, but distinct from the energy field and keeping it clean.
sure. So yes, so we are all oneness. And what does that mean to be oneness? We all come from the central sun. We're all here to learn that Earth is here to learn lessons. We're here to learn lessons. And there are some tough freaking lessons. I'm telling you, it's been a rough ride for me all these years. And so we're here to learn that fear is an illusion. This is my belief. And love conquers all. Now, we have a lot of people going around with fear, tons and tons of fear. And see where our planet is right now with war, election, everybody is, divided. The best way to help oneness is to be, when the conflicts are happening. Let's start with the conflicts. The conflicts are happening. What we need to do as people that are conscious, I want to call conscious, aware, whatever, that have an open heart more, we need to stay in neutrality. We need to stay in neutrality. Why? Because if we buy in to war and we start freaking out and our vibration starts vibrating and we connect to that other vibration, because all those people are vibrating in fear and we connect to that fear, what are we doing? We're feeding it. We're feeding it. So we want to step back, observe it, and be in neutrality. We don't want to put any more fear into it. We can blast it with love, 100%, to help oneness get out of that confusion and our disconnection and our divinity, like our division right now. That's what we're seeing in the world, is the division of each other. And so that's why we're here. And that's why so many more people are becoming more conscious and more aware, because it is time to come back as oneness, and it's time to come back as a community and not be separate anymore.
Yeah. Yes.
So, and a great way to help is what I like to teach is to get on your dragon. Get on your dragon. Go for a flight around the planet. Spread your love around the planet. You're helping oneness, right? I am one with oneness. Oneness is one with me. I am one with my humanity and I'm one with my divinity, right? So you're starting to bring more power for everyone, because we are connected. When one is injured, we all are injured. But remember, we want to stay back in those conflicts. We don't want to give our beautiful energy into those conflicts. to make the fear grow bigger.
Yeah, and it reminds me very much just of non-clinging and like not getting caught in things, which comes back right, I think, back around to being in the moment and being in one's sovereignty and power. Um, that yeah, it's not ignoring it. It's not putting one's face in the sand. It's that you are going to still stay in your own sovereignty and power and where you want to be. Yeah. So that makes I think that was a good way of describing it. I think to make that distinction as well, right? That it's not about ignoring. It's not about like spiritual, and it's not about spiritual bypass, because I think that can be like a tricky thing too, where sometimes people try to understand that, but we're not talking about that, because even when we're talking about the self-love, it's very much a process. So it's not that. It's more about the sovereignty.
It truly is, and blasting the planet with love. Blast it with that green color, with golden sparkles. Like I said, you get on whatever, a Pegasus, a horse, whatever, get on a plane, whatever you want in your mind, how you want to travel around the earth. And I like to go down into where the war is happening, and I blast it with color, and I blast it with violet fire, the transformation in forgiveness. And then I'll blast it with ruby red, divine feminine energy. Just go around and just that's helping. It truly is helping. Just me alone, but I know there's thousands and thousands of people that are doing the same thing. The light workers, all those people are doing the same thing. We're just bringing that love in. And the people that are in fear, send them the love, but stay in neutrality. Don't make a judgment. We don't want to judge. Just sit back, just pray and send them love and light that they can get out of that fear.
Yeah. Well, and on that more sort of one-on-one level, I think maybe there's less confusion about this now. I think there used to be more confusion, maybe especially for particularly empaths or empathic people, that you had to like go into that with them, right? But you don't have to go into that with them. It doesn't, it still can have all the compassion and all the seeing them even, right? Like acknowledging it without merging like that. So,
Right. We don't need to. We don't need to. We want to transmute it. We want it. So I believe that we're on the path of people starting to go, okay, enough's enough. Enough's enough of this anger. Enough's enough of this fear. Enough's enough. Let me start bringing some faith and trust. And then you can just ask for a ray of faith. Ask for a ray of trust. Fill me up with trust. It's so easy. Remember, we all have a team around us, but nobody asks for guidance. Nobody asks for help. And we're like, oh God, am I forsaken or whatever? And it's like, no, you have free will. So nobody can help you. The angelic force, your guides and team cannot help you unless you go, I need some help here. Guide me. Open the doors that I need and make sure I walk through that right door. You start doing that, your life and doors will start opening. For me, you know what? I just had another trauma. How am I going to handle it? Am I have a pity party? Yeah, I had a pity party. 12-hour pity party. Hell yeah, I did. But that gave me strength to move on. And Sonja, to be honest with you, it cracked my heart more open. And I cried and cried. I didn't think I could love my husband anymore.
Yeah.
And that taught me that there's more love to start feeling within. And it blew me away. I was like, I felt like the Grinch. I felt like my heart grew another size.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I've had some experiences with that too, and you feel like it's wide open, and then it can crack open even more. And sometimes
I
it is
know.
in the most difficult circumstances.
And you're just like, what the heck is going on here?
Yes.
And you're like, I'm done with these lessons. And it's like, nope. Get your new one. You get yourself together, because now it's time to go through a new door, and it's time to learn something new and grab onto your strength and your faith, and start bringing your community around. That's what I'm learning, is that we have this massive community around that loves us. And I was never one to, ask for help. Now I'm like, I'm calling on all favors. So it's a massive lesson when you go through these traumas and experience that just knock you down.
Yeah,
That's
which is
another heart opener.
yes. Well, and it's interesting that aspect you bring in because I think that receptive part can also be a challenge. But it's important too, like to be open to receive from others as well. So it's
Yes.
interesting that came up. Mm-hmm.
And that's very hard, was very hard for me, like very hard for me. And now I'm so vulnerable. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I have to realize I can't do this on my own. I can't do
Mm-hmm.
this on my own. I need the community of love around me. And I was blown away that how the people have come out of the woodwork to come support us. And I was just like, oh my gosh, there's so much love, so much love. And so I'm telling you, I felt like the Grinch just got boom. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What's this feeling?
It's almost like the different flavors of love. I think of like,
Hmm.
I think is it in Sufism where they've got the different names of God? It's like, it reminds me of there's these different flavors of love to experience. And then they also can crack us open even more. We
Yeah.
realize where we weren't still fully in love. It's this process, I think, of opening and surrendering to love, which sounds like, why wouldn't we want to do that? But it's a process.
It's hard. You can say it. It's the feeling. And that's the different. It's the emotion. It's the feeling. And that takes work. Because you
Mm-hmm.
got to go in and forgive yourself. You got to go in and truly forgive yourself. And I teach people how to do that. And what I say is, even if you don't want to forgiving somebody else. So that's the key. Forgiving yourself and forgiving others, because that's locked up in your heart, right? And your regrets and all of that. And what I like to tell people to say, I forgive. Even if it's unforgivable, I forgive. What is that doing? It's cracking it open.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, okay, now I can go to maybe just say, I forgive, instead of going, I forgive even if I don't want to forgive. I mean, so it's layer after layer after layer,
The
and your heart will
layers.
start cracking open.
Well, and I think the way you're describing it, I think is maybe also what people miss is that it's like this dance, this continual process. You're engaging with it, right? So it's not just like, boom, you're forgiving. I have to forgive. It's like you're engaging with that,
Hmm.
with the whole process and with
Right.
with the
Even if I
feeling.
don't want to forgive, even if it's unforgivable,
Mm-hmm.
just saying that I don't want to forgive this because this is really bad. But it does. It starts loosening you up to going, okay, yes, that shitty thing happened to me. Yes, I was a victim. Yes, this happened. And then what do? You call your energy back. You call your power back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You call it back, and it will come back to you. See, now you're getting more strength, more
Mm-hmm.
confidence, more self love, more self respect. So it's all in a process, and it comes when you're ready, right? It comes when
Mm-hmm.
you're ready. And and you don't realize how many layers we have of the subconscious. And like for me, the more you work on yourself, you're like, oh, I thought I already got rid of that. It's like, no, here it comes again.
Right.
Okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to forgive this. I'm going to move forward. But there's always another layer. It's because we're here to learn to evolve and learn our lessons here and go back to, you know, I am one with oneness. I am one with my divinity. My
Yeah.
divinity is one with my humanity. What's that doing? It's bringing you back in the present moment of self love.
Yeah, I'd love to pick back up on the word trust that you said too, because we've talked about it a little, like how much fear and anxiety there is, and how we are in these states like that a lot of the time. Yeah, so trust, like abundance, trust, it's all kind of all related, but to that feeling of all is wellness. I've done a couple of videos on that. But yeah, could you just speak more about trust and the importance of it, the power of
Yes.
it?
Yeah. So trust, man, trust is a hard, trust and faith, I think, go together,
Yeah.
right? Because we get so locked up in our ego mind that we do everything on our own, right? The ego takes control, and we need to learn how to settle the mind down so you could even bring in trust, right? You can't bring in trust if you're freaking out. You just can't. So again, you got to go back to being grounded. Number one thing, number one chakra is grounding. And once you can be grounded, then you can start bringing that energy of trust into your reality and ask to be filled up, overflowing. You know what? And I go like this. Angels, man, I'm having a hard time, especially right now. I am really being challenged. I am being so challenged. I think this is my most, I thought I went through a lot in my life, but right now with my husband having a stroke, this is a major, they're really putting stuff right in front of my face. So now I need to really go into that trust, that energy of trust, and to feel it coming through and know that somebody's got your back. That's the thing. We don't think anybody has our backs at all. And the mind will take us down such a crappy, crappy place. So how do we do that? We want to clear the mind. We want to get grounded. How do we clear the mind? We're going to use the violet fire. And so what I like to do is imagine that this energy, this purple energy is on top of my head, because that'll start clearing your mind, clearing your mind. I release, I allow, and I let go. And I transform anything that is in my mind that is negative, because it's the negative stuff that keeps us out of our faith and trust. And then you just start asking, universe, fill me up, overflowing with trust. Fill me up, overflowing with trust. And that energy will start running through you. And you can will it. You can command it. Then you can go to your oversoul or higher self. Fill me up. Soul, I'm going to let you be in charge of filling me up with the trust energy that I need. It's all about just calming yourself down, which is very hard. When you're running in that hamster wheel, my God, I know how it is. I've been there multiple times. Everybody has. Get outside, ground yourself, get that violet fire in that brain. Start letting that energy flow through the brain, because that's going to calm you down, and then call on the energy of trust, and you will feel so much better.
Sounds like that might be what you would suggest, which is was going to be my next question for like where someone could start. Let's say they're just well, whatever place they're in. Maybe it's a difficult place, maybe it's not, but they just sort of want somewhere to start. Would it
Yes,
be, do you think, with the grounding then?
100%. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, when you are, so why do we get full of fear and anxiety? Because we're not grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we're not grounded, the anxiety and fear comes to us even more, and more, because we're making up more crap in our mind. We're going in the past or we're going in the future. So the grounding is the absolute key to success walking on planet Earth. Period. That's my belief. And I'm telling you, when I'm not grounded, I'm a crazy woman, out of control. And clearing the mind, you've got to clear the mind with that violet fire flame. You just have to. And it's right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right here. So you can just imagine. I always do colors when I work with people. They can see the color of the violet flame, and you just look at it, and it'll. So it's like your third eye clearing your whole head, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then just start saying, "I'm going to bring." And you can imagine the green, golden sparkles coming down. Put your hands in a waterfall and just start bathing yourself with the trust. You can bathe yourself with the trust. You can drink the trust. Get a green apple with golden sparkles. All of that's going to work to fill you up.
Yeah, I love how supportive all of those are because,
Mhm.
like I was saying, I think we often almost always need practices to really make it happen, right? It's like we can't just usually, occasionally, right? We're having a spiritual awakening or we're in that kind of a mode, but most of the time we need practice in order to stay in the kind of states that we want to be in. Mm-hmm.
We really do. And it's a daily practice. And you just, and most of us only use these tools when we're in crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Start using these tools on a daily basis, because your life will get better. You'll be able to manage things better. You'll be able to think better. You'll be clear. The intuition will start flowing in when you're in the present moment, and you're calm and you're secure. It's all about safety and security, bottom line.
I'm wondering if, yeah, you could tell us just a little bit more as we close about your offerings and where people can find you and connect with you.
Sure, I'd love to. So I do power retrieval sessions, and the sessions is to teach you because it's all about teaching you so you can do it on your own, how to reclaim your energy, how to reclaim your power, how to reclaim your willpower, how to open your heart power and bring that energy back into you. They're super fun, and you'll learn so much from a power retrieval session. You will be walking on cloud nine. Um, and what else do I have? I've got all sorts of little shoppy things I do. Four earth elements. Working with the elements is super powerful, and it's a great way to open your sacred space and start to work with the angels. See, each angel is associated with the elements, so it's super powerful stuff. You can find me at MaryArmendarez. .com, and I have a podcast with just sweet little inspirations, and on YouTube. I'm on YouTube too. So Power Retrieval. You can check me out. I'm all over the place.
Okay, and I'll put links, of course, in the description box
Okay.
as well. So, well, thank you so much. And, best wishes for the recovery of your husband. I really appreciate you being here today, in spite of everything going on. Gives us your wisdom from that perspective too, of course. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.